Hey.
Howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing? It's time to stream.
Time to
We
stream.
got so much to talk about.
Weather watchers worldwide today, we're going to basically focus on what is happening across the United States, though, because it is cold, it is snowy, we're still impacted by the last storm. We got a new storm coming up. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. There's our chief meteorologist, Lewis Turner.
What's happening? Good to see you guys. There's a saying back in the Carolinas, all right, where they had a good bit of snow and some ice. But the saying is, if the snow hasn't melted or the ice hasn't melted within 2 days, it's just waiting for more.
Oh.
So
well.
that's one of those old, one of your like wives' tales, when you're verifying like old weather idioms.
Yeah.
That's one of those up there. And a good friend meteorologist in South Carolina posted that Facebook picture of ice that was still on the ground in his community just north of Columbia, South Carolina. He's like, well, looks like it's waiting for more.
That might be some reality to that with our new storm coming up here.
Yeah.
If we take a look at the snowpack, still in parts of North Carolina up through Virginia, we got a little bit of snow on the ground. It stretches across the mountains of Virginia and even all the way back down towards parts of Texas. In fact, I do have some video out of Mississippi. Let's lead with this because they're still having travel hazards out there.
Yikes.
Right? And this is a clear example. You can tell they don't have snowplows available because you just got like the ruts. It looks like they're driving like on a muddy road.
Those truckers trying to find the ruts and having to go extra slow. So 2 types of traffic videos. Okay, so there's the traffic video that shows absolute gridlock back to back to back to back like we see on the right side.
Yeah.
Then there's the other kind that's on the left when there are no cars at all and you've got Walking Dead style like emptiness.
Yeah.
And you just know it's bad because people can't even get on the highway. So it's not even to where I can get in the gridlock, or the gridlock is happening 6-7 miles out of frame, to the south or to the north.
Yeah.
And this guy right here, he said, you know what, I said my prayers this morning, I ate my Wheaties, and we're just going to try it. I got to get to work.
I got places to be. And
it's brutal.
At least they're taking their time. I mean, you're going to get there eventually, but my goodness.
Look at that.
Just no salt on the road, no plows.
Again,
and
Mississippi.
I bring this up because this is like a recent video. This isn't the day of the storm.
Yeah.
This is from yesterday afternoon, and this morning got reports still, this is right on I-44, the major road.
Yeah.
And there's still got trees down, roads backed up. Let's come back to our graphics here. Trees down, roads backed up, all of that in this area. Also, just so you know, I am on Max. That is Max 1, Max 4. So we can show up our normal graphics. But here you go. This is just looking ahead into Saturday. I mean, you got temperatures into the 50s there. This is that snowfall, though, across the area. So what are we going to talk about? Oh, well, today, mention that past storm real fast. The last one where you just saw the snow on the ground there out of Mississippi, over 50 deaths reported from this one, right? And which drives me nuts that I hear people still saying, where was this big bad storm? And it's like, this was 2,000 miles of warnings on it.
Yeah, and you think about the word hype. And we are always extra careful not to do that, But when we say dangerous temperatures or crippling temperatures, some people will scoff at that. But the people that do, when we mention dangerous temperatures, like we are going to have Sunday morning and into Monday morning, dangerous temperatures, think about those who don't have access to heat. I mean, think about those who are unhoused or exposed to hours and hours in temperatures like this with no shelter. I mean, this becomes deadly, and why heating centers around towns are so important. But yeah, we're going to get into a situation where it's no hype, it's just the truth. Sunday morning's temperatures would be life-threatening for someone who does not have access to shelter or heat. And so we got to check in on our neighbors who may be going without and make sure they're getting the resources they need.
And, not just people going without, but there might also be the potential of widespread power outages.
There you go.
Well, we're already seeing that up to the north. I'm not so worried about Jacksonville getting our power out. But, up towards the north. And if you get this, especially along the coast where this next storm is going to be developing, you're going to be talking about people sitting in the cold. So there's just all sorts of impacts. And, on the note of power outages, I want to share this graphic because this is kind of interesting. We're talking about that freezing rain on power lines. We always talk about the power lines being weighted down. But this is something I never really thought about. But also, like power lines around are meant to be kind of aerodynamic so the wind goes around it. But when ice accumulates, it almost creates a bit of a sail.
Yeah.
So if you get this wind, and especially in this next storm, we're getting some windy conditions along the coast, you could be looking at power outages and maybe those spots that still have a little bit of ice on them. So
wind resistance.
Complex.
Think about how ice, the typical icicle shape, how ice would form is, the term is accretion, how it steadily builds on itself. It doesn't build like the ice cube in your freezer. The rain comes down, or the freezing rain will solidify on the ice as it drips slowly down, and then you get the teardrop shape, which provides wind resistance, and thusly, you not only have to deal with the weight, but the wind blowing those power lines down, which we saw a great deal of. The same thing applies to trees, branches, which can also take out power and be damaging. That we saw with this past ice storm.
So let's talk about the next ice storm.
A lot different.
Yes. Freezing rain, not going to be a big issue with the next one.
Right.
The wind, the snow, and obviously the cold are the big ones with this one. Let's actually just loop through here on first off, so the weekend storm, possible snow for the first coast. I'm saying it, but maybe parts of southeast Georgia.
I agree.
We're not saying Jacksonville's going to get covered in a foot of snow here. This is not 1989 all over again, but maybe some flurries along our coastal areas. But the real bad stuff is going to be along the coastal Carolinas out there.
Yeah, there's a lot to kind of talk about with this. Dynamics, wind direction, what we would call fetch over the relatively warmer ocean water. How the coast would have a better chance of seeing some flurries. Again, timing is going to be very important because it's really looking like Saturday night, maybe even late night Saturday night while most would be sleeping, so would you even see it? But look at a couple of different things here with this particular chart, and I'm assuming this is the European model.
Yeah.
Okay, so European model has consistently been showing that line of snow butting up right against our beach in what could be an ocean effect snow event. We've talked about the science behind a Gulf snow or a lake effect snow, essentially the same sort of setup. What we're going to have is sort of the perfect timing of wind direction and that cold air moving back and over towards the beaches. And it's interesting geography, topography, the cutout, almost the bight, as other countries would call the bay, the big kind of Gulf bend that runs from Charleston to Daytona, how the coastline kind of cuts in a little bit.
Yeah.
So wind direction kind of changes for like Glenn County. A north wind for Glenn doesn't necessarily fetch a lot of water up and over like it would, say, for maybe Duval or St. Johns County. You know what I mean? So what we're going to need to see and how the isobars are lining up there. That's generally how your winds flow. They're going to generally flow without any other friction with parallel to those isobars. It's going to be a very limited time as that low boogies away because ultimately those winds are going to kind of come back out of the northwest and west. And now you no longer have the fetch over the ocean. Right? But it's going to be that brief period of time where we are getting maybe a northeast to north wind that we get a little bit of that cold air overrunning and pushing some of that potential snowflake action onto the beaches.
And that would just be, just a little flurries. I don't think we wouldn't see accumulations. It would be enough where if you are unfortunate enough to be standing at the beach around midnight, you'd be like, okay, I think there's some flurries coming down.
This would be Saturday night. Technically Sunday morning midnight, but the late night, Saturday night, early wee hours of Sunday morning.
Which we're going to come back to that in a second, just about all the cold temperatures. Plus, I do want to talk about what a bomb cyclone is, too. So we got more to talk about with this upcoming storm here along the East Coast. Definitely the big topic out there today. First, though, let's go to a commercial, and we'll come right back.
Why do we come here? To reach for new heights, to dive to new depths. You can call it a team, even a community. that connection with others. We all deserve that. So why come here? This is why.
Swing into luxury, where golf and community come home. Located in St. John's, Florida, Stillwater is a premier 55-plus active adult community where golf is in your backyard. This bundled golf course community features a championship 18-hole course, top tracer practice facility, and resort-style amenities. Whether perfecting your swing or connecting with neighbors, Stillwater offers the perfect blend of relaxation and recreation. Live where every day feels like a getaway.
Maybe you're new to all this streaming, OTT, on-demand stuff. You need a trusted news and weather source, and we've got you with First Coast News Plus.
That's some pretty serious cold.
It's your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts,
heavy law enforcement presence,
extended breaking news coverage,
and that breaking news right now out of Camden County, Georgia,
and exclusive specials, all on your schedule. So download First Coast News Plus and start watching for free.
Welcome
Yes.
back. All right, let's talk about what a bomb cyclone is.
Yeah, that's a scary term, right? A very catchy term, but bombogenesis, when a cyclone, that's a scary word too for the for the untrained.
Just like a cyclone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cyclone. All we're referring to when we talk about cyclone is cyclonic flow around an area of low pressure, which is just basically means you're getting a low pressure center with counterclockwise flow. That is cyclonic. We also have something called anticyclonic or an anticyclone, which would be high pressure. So let's take the fear out of that word. It is big and scary, and we do usually use that word in terms of a big bad storm. And then bombing out, talking about a really quick drop in pressure. That means it's bombing out.
And there's a technical definition. If you go to the American Meteorological Society, there's a dictionary where these are weather words.
Yep.
It's 24 millibars in 24 hours.
Yes.
If it's 20 millibars in 24 hours, guess what? It's not a bomb cyclone. Most low pressure areas, your classic ones will be like 10 to 15 millibars when they are strengthening. So this happens though typically when you get it over the warm waters. You got that big cold air up to the north, warm air pushing it. It just the conditions are in place for that pressure to drop really fast, and thus you can get a deepening storm with a very tight pressure gradient off of it. And here's the timing of this one here. Friday, it's going to actually pass over the first coast in Jacksonville and then really start to bottom out. And we could get a pressure down to 960 millibars. I think that's possible. Some of the models are really kind of showing that out here, Lou.
Which, if you were, and it's apples, oranges, it's not apples to apples, because you're talking about something that's driven by cold. You're talking about something driven generally frontally speaking, squeezing pressure gradients as opposed to a tropical system.
Yeah.
But if you were to look at something that was a 960 millibar low in the hurricane season, you're talking about a potential major hurricane.
Yeah.
Very, very strong deep low in essence. And so with that, it's going to have the power to pull in a lot of cold air and wrapping around moisture, meaning it doesn't have a lot of room between where it's going to be oriented and the Gulf Stream and then over towards the coast. But there's a ton of moisture on the other side to the east. And the way that counterclockwise flow happens around, you call that wraparound moisture, pulling moisture around and then back onto the East Coast. And
then with that, of course, the cold air, which I can't stress this enough. It's coming from like northern Canada.
Yeah,
we're calling this Siberian Express here, but I guess you could technically say it's coming from the polar regions, the Siberia there, pushing across. Which, by the way, where that cold air is originating, and I didn't have time to make the graphic for this because we're worldwide. Weather Watch is worldwide. There are temperatures in Siberia where this kind of is crossing the pole and going over to Canada, where this air is coming from, which is around minus 50 to minus 60 today. That's in a weather world. We're talking about low pressure. They have like a 1055 millibar high pressure, which is absurd.
Yeah, the other end of the spectrum.
The other end. So big. So when you get cold air like that in the poles, it has to go somewhere eventually. It doesn't just sit there. It tries to flow out. And what's happened is that's gone over to Canada, and then from there we're getting this reinforced kind of lows pulling it south, and then eventually we get it here, and boy, it is going to get frigid out here. And I mean, look at these. This is for Jacksonville. Our low temperatures from Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday here.
Yeah, record lows. So we're going to have back-to-back days in the low 20s, back-to-back days of breaking previous records. So, yeah, absolutely frigid. And that tells part of the story. You know, other part of the story will be the wind chills, especially Sunday. I mean, with the proximity still of that low pressure system, we're still talking about tight pressure gradients, which means very breezy, especially as you're waking up Sunday morning.
Yeah, the wind chills at times went down into the single digits. So you can see right here, 8 to 9 degrees. I mean, that's the coldest wind chills. I don't know. This might just be my mindset, and I don't have data to back it up. But at least since I've been here, which I've been here for about 6 years now, I have not seen single-digit wind chills on our maps.
I think you might have to go back to 2012.
It's been a minute.
2010. Yeah, it has been a long time since we've seen it, which brings a graphic that we don't get to use very often, thank God. But let's think about signs of hypothermia. You know, definitely, and this is pertinent this weekend because there's going to be thousands of people out for the Donna Marathon events on Sunday morning, getting geared up and ready to run the half or the full. So definitely, especially for those who are going to be volunteering, spectating, standing around, not getting the blood pumping, so to speak, but even the runners. I mean, you're going to have to take extra precaution. Robert's going to be running, and lots of precaution. Have you thought about it? Like, what exactly precautions you take as a runner?
I'm going to do thermals, obviously. I got running gloves. I'm not sure if I'm going to wear the hat, but I probably will start with the hat. And then just it's tough because once you start running, you start sweating. Yeah. I do know I'm going to have my son meet me about 30, 40 minutes in. He's going to find me, and I might start shedding some clothing at that point. But we'll see because, I mean, 30, 40 minutes in, it's still going to be into the 20s with a wind chill into the teens. So I don't know how fast I'm going to have to run.
Right.
And a lot of the times you're running north. Like half of it you're running north, half of it you're running south. If you're running north into that wind, I'm not even sure. I probably might wear sunglasses even early in the morning just to keep my eyes safe.
Yeah, all the ways to keep the wind off your body. Mm-hmm. Naturally, you're going to have the winds themselves, but as you run, I mean, you get the breeze coming on. And look, I mean, even by 1 o'clock, our temperatures will still be in the 30s, you know, so with the wind chills at 30 by 1. So our whole day is going to be frigid. You know, the morning will tell a big story just of how extreme the cold is, but there's no relief coming really through Sunday or Monday.
Well, you know, it's not just us. It's also our pets that are cold. And I do want to, talk about this because we don't get this cold that often here on the First Coast. Not myself, but I want to bring in Tim Furlong. He was going to talk about, what you can do with your pets because especially when we get these temperatures dropping down this cold across the southeast, make sure they are staying warm and safe as well. All right, never mind. We're not going to go to that video. Okay. All right. Well, let's keep talking.
What was the gist?
The gist was, make sure you don't leave them outside too long. Some of those dogs that are not designed for the cold, and he was kind of going through and listing it out. So, for example, like your Siberian Husky. They'll be okay.
Right.
But like your French Poodle,
not built for this.
It's not or the dogs that just don't have fur on them, like your pug.
Yeah. The short hairs. Yeah. And another thing, I've heard, and it's a great reminder, if they are outside dogs and maybe they are built for the cold, I'd still say have a warm place for them to be. But keep in mind, if their water dish, that thing's going to freeze, and now they're not going to have fresh drinking water. So if they're going to extend, that can make them sick or worse. So make sure, they're drinking water. And this applies to livestock. This applies to any agriculture, any kind of animals that you're going to have outside. Perhaps they'll be fine, but the water supply, if it's in a trough or dish or bowl, that's going to freeze solid.
Yeah.
So make sure that's broken up, thawed out. You got them fresh drinking water throughout the day as well.
There we go. I guess we didn't have to toss to Tim. All right, so let's we're gonna go to a commercial break. In the final block, the final section here, I got some fun stuff to talk about. Real quick, I want to touch in on Artemis. Got a game for Lou here, and
love it.
We're if we have time, maybe we'll throw to a fun video. So we'll be right back.
Why do we come here? To reach for new heights, to dive to new depths. You can call it a team, even a community. That connection with others. We all deserve that. So why come here? This is why.
Swing into luxury, where golf and community come home. Located in St. John's, Florida, Stillwater is a premier 55-plus active adult community where golf is in your backyard. This bundled golf course community features a championship 18-hole course, top tracer practice facility, and resort-style amenities. Whether perfecting your swing or connecting with neighbors, Stillwater offers the perfect blend of relaxation and recreation. Live where every day feels like a getaway.
Maybe you're new to all this streaming, OTT, on-demand stuff. You need a trusted news and weather source, and we've got you with First Coast News Plus.
That's some pretty serious cold.
Get your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts,
Heavy law enforcement presence.
extended breaking news coverage,
And that breaking news right now out of Camden County, Georgia.
and exclusive specials, all on your schedule. So download First Coast News Plus and start watching for free.
All right, welcome back. Let's we got two things here. Got a couple things still.
Okay.
First, I want to remind everybody we are a week out from Artemis II. Lou, you getting excited?
I'm pumped.
I'm
I hope
pumped.
it happens. A lot can happen, and we're just going to say it's happening. And we're going February 6th, 9:40 p.m. It's going to be cold. We know that. But yeah, going to be interesting. So we're going to have humans going up and around the moon.
Around the moon, the fastest humans in history. I thought that was a fun little tidbit on it. So when they do their lunar, their lunar pass, they will speed up to the fastest humans ever, which is kind of neat. Then
I didn't know that. That's cool.
and then they're going to do everything, all the preps, all the stuff outside of landing on the moon, which of course Artemis III will do. We're excited. This weekend, we have a wet dress rehearsal. That is basically when they fuel up the rockets and then unfuel it. If there's any issues there, the cold might impact it, then it might get delayed. There's a lot of mights, there's a lot of maybes. And the launch window opens at this time, but it doesn't mean it will exactly launch at that time, but fingers crossed. I'll be out there.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see the content. Can't wait to see what comes out of it. That's going to be, history right there. First time going back. A new launch system, of course. We've had a couple of generations of launch systems since, of course, Apollo. We've had the shuttle come and go, and now we've got Artemis. So a big, bad mega rocket.
It is a big, bad rocket. I saw Artemis 1 launch, and
you could hear it, feel it. It was unreal.
All right, so speaking of the future.
Okay, AI.
So if you watched this yesterday, you might have seen some of these photos. I put some new ones in here.
Okay.
So in the age of AI, it's becoming harder and harder to tell what is real and what is fake. So I've been putting our meteorologist here at First Coast News to the test to see if they can see offhand if these images are real or fake.
Okay.
Some of them are tricky. Some of them are easy. You can play along at home as well. All right, Lou, what do you think about this one? Real or is it AI slop?
It's AI slop.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
What gives it away for you?
For me, it's the shadows. There in the bottom left. There are you don't see any trees in the frame. I know there probably could be some trees way off to the left out of frame, but there's casting a weird kind of shadow, and frankly, it just looks too beautiful.
That's what threw me off. It looks too nice.
That's too white of snow. There's no yellow snow in there. Real or fake?
Real or fake?
Okay. This looks real, so I'm going to go with my gut instinct. I'm going to say that's real snow on the beach.
That is real. That is from last year's storm in Pensacola.
Pensacola. Yeah, that looks real. Okay, I've never seen that picture before, but it looks that looks a little dirtier snow.
Yeah,
up against
and
the
that's
tide
what it
pool.
gets at. Yeah, you can kind of see blemishes. If that snow was pure white, I would have questions. All right, how about this one?
That is not a real cat. Impossible. That cat looks gigantic. That's slop.
Yeah, that is AI slop. That is AI slop.
Even with forced perspective with the cat being in the front, I don't know. Something about that cat. That cat's
I think
huge.
I got Ellie on this one yesterday.
Oh, okay.
She was like, "Oh, I love a kitty."
She loves cats, so it makes
yeah.
sense. Yep. She
All right.
wants it to be real.
How about this one?
Ooh, gosh.
Real or fake?
That you're gonna get me on this one. Because again, I'm gonna go slop on this, but it would be amazing if it's real.
You got it. That is slop. It is based on a real town, and the way I found it, they said this is an image of my town, and I asked AI to recreate it, and this is like they just put this weird mountain in the background.
Yeah, I was about to say the mountain in the background where the road would just seemingly end there.
Yeah.
That's kind of bizarre.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like it's
a lot
too
going on.
much.
Be aware of the real or AI.
How about this one?
Yeah, that's some slop.
Yeah, you don't think this one's real?
That's the sloppiest slop ever. What are those cars doing? What are those?
Yeah.
What are
The
we
cars are just right up to
Why?
the edge. I asked AI I made this one and I asked ChatGPT 3 times, can you stop putting cars? And it just kept doing it.
Just kept doing it.
It wrote wells on the bridge.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's easy.
Yeah.
But we all know somebody that this would fool
Would
and
share.
they'd be like,
You'd see somebody share it on the internet.
remember back in 1989? I was there.
I was there. I
What
saw
do you
that.
mean? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's a
I
look.
appreciate the test. It's always good to stay sharp.
You're 5 for 5.
I was nervous.
This is why he's the chief.
No.
This is it. This is the only test you
Sometimes
get.
wild guessing helps.
All right, friends. Thanks for stopping by to Weather Watchers Worldwide. We got you will be coming up here at 4:30.
Yep.
And then we're also, don't forget, we stream the 6:30 now.
Yeah. So lots going on here on First Coast News Plus. Don't go anywhere. Check it out. And we'll be diving deep into snow potential in the cold this weekend coming up at 4:30. So hope to see you then. For Robert, I'm Lou. Have a great day.